Hey everybody, Megan Fox here with pjmedia.com, and I'm back for Johnny Depp v. Amber Heard Part 2. It's super hot today in New York, which is so bizarre. Like every day here in the spring is either super cold or super hot. So I've got my hair piled on top of my head because I am sweating with the fan in the window. So if you're hearing any extra sounds, that's what it is. I'm coming to you from in front of the Black Pearl, because we are talking about Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard and what's going on in the trial of the century and my thoughts on it. So today, Amber Heard's attorney Rottenborn, what a name. What a name. The simulation is working overtime because the crappy attorney that Amber Heard has, his last name is Rottenborn. For real. Rottenborn. Born rotten is this guy's name. I just can't. I can't even with this. It's so good. Okay. Anyway, he in court today said, he asked Mr. Depp, have you ever known a woman who profited off of coming forward about domestic abuse? And I believe that the question was objected to by Depp's attorney, and so he didn't answer. But I wish he had said yes, Amber Heard. And I'm going to prove to you that Amber Heard did indeed profit from coming forward about her allegations of abuse. So picking up where we left off, I'm going to go over to a video of Amber Heard on YouTube sharing her hopes about the Me Too movement. Now, this is an Entertainment Tonight video, and it will probably... I hope I don't get a copyright on this. I'm telling you right now, YouTube, that my commentary on this video is my intention of playing it is under the fair use copyright, and I'm going to change it significantly by talking about it every couple of seconds. So I'm going to have to interrupt this interview every few seconds so that I can, so that we can hopefully avoid YouTube, the long arm of YouTube. Okay, here we go. Entertainment Tonight. This was on, I should find out when this was done, huh? We should probably find out when. September 17th, 2018. Okay, so this is after she has come forward, and I believe after he lost his movie deal with Disney. All right, let's play this.
Talking about L'Oreal Paris, the fact that you're part of a team of great women, Helen Mirren, Jane Fonda, the list just goes on and on.
L'Oreal, again, she got the deal with L'Oreal. So there's your first clue that she benefited by coming out.
You became part of it. What was that moment for you?
I was so excited. I was so excited when I was approached by L'Oreal, not just because it's fun.
What's going on with her cheekbones, by the way? She looks like Skeletor. When her face is towards the camera, it looks like she has bones protruding from here. Like she got something implanted. Did she get like cheekbone implants? I don't know. I think she looks bizarre in this, but anyway.
And it seemed like a brand I could really get behind. But they really seemed like a brand that stood for the same principles and ideas that I myself align my energy and my efforts.
Your energy and your efforts. It seems like a company. What did you say? It seems like a company I could get behind. It aligns with my energy. What kind of energy is that, Amber? Abuser energy? Cut your finger off energy?
They have had the
Okay. I love that. Did you see that? Somebody walks through her interview and she gets super pissed off. Let's watch that again.
They have had the
Look at that face. Look at that face. Like, how dare you interrupt me in the middle of a sentence? It's probably some poor grip or something, and like she's trying to make it look like she's not upset. Like we didn't just see her lose her shit. Watch it again.
They've had the tagline, because you're worth it.
Also, what's with the ear? That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piercings in one ear? What is this, 1992? It's bizarre.
Since I was born, before I was born. And I thought that it was very special. I feel very honored and proud to have aligned myself with a brand that is so similar to my principles.
What principles are those, Amber? Do you have principles? Do you know what principles are? Because I'm not sure you do. There was an awful lot of lying that took place in front of the public that didn't sound anything like the tapes we've heard of you. We hear these tapes of you belittling your husband, yelling, screaming, admitting to hitting him, admitting to throwing pots and pans at his head. You cut off his finger with a vodka bottle. And yet she's waxing poetic about my principles. Oh, please.
They stand up for empowering women. It's about women. It's about finding your own worth in whatever way that happens. I loved that they really were
empowering women, however, in whatever way that can work. Yeah, like by lying about your husband, and by elevating yourself, by spreading lies about your husband. She would never have gotten this interview, by the way, if she had not accused her husband of abuse. She would never have gotten the L'Oreal deal. It was all based around the Me Too thing. So she got added into the Me Too movement because she accused her husband of abuse. If she hadn't done that, she wouldn't have had any of this stuff.
We're a brand that stood for something that I can get behind.
And that's so great about you. You actually use your voice to make a difference. You actually speak up for other women who can't have a voice. And that's part of what L'Oreal Paris is doing as well. And it's an interesting time in the industry with everything that's happening. How important is this moment?
Look at her nodding her head like, oh yes, what I'm doing is so important. Yes, I'm speaking up for other women who can't speak. This is so cringe.
Right now, where there's a shift in attitude for women.
It is so exciting and thrilling and encouraging and inspiring to see a real groundswell of change of opinion, change of mind. That is what that will serve as the basis, as the impetus to have and see and enjoy the fruits of long-term change.
To have and see and enjoy the fruits of long-term change. She uses a whole lot of extra words here. She doesn't need to use like impetus. And you'll see she starts talking in circles like she's memorized something, but she hasn't quite memorized it perfectly. And so the words keep coming out that are not in the right order, which I find interesting. And I find her completely disingenuous. I don't believe her at all. And I think that she's riding this wave.
Long-term change does not come from a fad. A movement can be a fad if it's not founded in...
Okay, and now we have, hold on. We have an ad we have to sit through. If it's not founded in what, Amber?
Deeply ingrained, ubiquitous
Ubiquitous.
In order for...
Ubiquitous. She did not just use the word ubiquitous. Listen to this sentence.
Ingrained, ubiquitous need. And
I gotta go back.
Can be a fad if it's not founded in a deeply ingrained, ubiquitous need. And in order for it to be proper...
Oh, Lord. I mean, do you guys not see this? I got to look up ubiquitous because I have to know what the actual definition is. Ubiquitous. Present, appearing, or found everywhere. Present, appearing, or found everywhere. Let's see if that makes sense.
Ubiquitous. Come from a fad. A movement can be a fad if it's not founded in a deeply ingrained, ubiquitous...
A deeply ingrained, present and everywhere. Yeah, I guess. Ubiquitous. What a stupid $10 word to use on an Entertainment Tonight interview.
Need. And in order for...
Who's got a dictionary sitting next to them to look that up?
Be properly executed, carried, and for us to reap the benefits of it.
Properly executed and carried for us to reap the benefits of it. I mean, this is so much garbage.
For it to affect us in a long-term sense, we have to continue to carry the message. We have to continue to go see films made by women. We have to continue to push our daughters, our sisters, ourselves to get behind the camera, to pick up our pens, to pick up our cameras, to start telling our stories and participating in the dialogue, which is the expression.
Telling our stories, even if they're full of shit. Even if our stories are not true, we have to keep telling our stories.
Of the female experience
The
and
female
all of its variants.
experience. This is so transphobic, by the way. She keeps talking about the female experience. What's a female, Amber? These people are so funny because in one breath they will talk about the female experience and women. And this was just a couple of years ago, where the women's movement, the Believe Women, and now they can't even define what a woman is.
Varying degrees. The spectrum is vast, and it has been largely.
The spectrum is vast. Boy, she has dug into the word of the day calendar, hasn't she? I bet she has those words, the word poetry that you stick on the refrigerator, the magnets. She worked this out before she did this. The spectrum is vast.
Ignored and chronically underserved.
Chronically underserved. Not just underserved, chronically underserved.
Chronically underrepresented in this industry. We make up over 51% of the movie ticket population, over half the population, over half the ticket purchasing population. Yet 30% of speaking roles are named roles.
Look at her face.
30%.
Watch her face.
Over half the ticket purchasing population. Yet
look at this face. This face is so bad. Yet
30% of speaking roles or named roles were done by women. And that is not even taking into consideration the content of what they were saying. And when you do it, the numbers get even more depressing, not to mention the pay gap.
More depressed as this interview continues.
Deep disparity between wages, between men and women doing the same jobs.
Here we go with income disparity again. This lie.
And the lifespan that we have.
Perhaps they pay you less, Amber, because you don't draw in the audience that your male counterparts do. No, ain't nobody coming to see a movie starring Amber Heard running around under the water saving people. No. Everyone is showing up to see Jason Momoa in that movie. Sorry, he's just a bigger star. And, cry me a river, by the way, for spoiled rich actresses who aren't getting as many millions as their male counterparts. Cry me a river. Yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of sympathy from us on that one.
These are institutions that have been needed to be challenged, overturned. Now is the time where we're starting to realize the damage done by these antiquated institutions and outdated norms of protecting the status quo that hurts women and underserves women and underrepresents us in a major way. We can't sit.
Man, she's digging. She had memorized a bunch of sound bites, and when you see her look off to the right, I recognize this. I do it myself. You're searching the bank. You're searching the bank up there for the sound bites. And she's just kind of throwing them all together. And I find it funny. And you can tell she gets a little bit lost, but she's doing a good job pulling them up.
Sit on our laurels and ride the wave of
cliche after cliche. We cannot just sit on our laurels and ride the wave of.
I'm very happy to see post.
She didn't even finish that. Ride the wave of. I'm very happy to see.
Post all of the social movements that we have seen recently. I've noticed in my own life, the effects of such a dramatic and inspiring climate.
So she's admitting it right here. She's noticed the effects in her own life of the Me Too movement. She's just not saying it. But the effects in her own life of the Me Too movement have been exciting. And yeah, she got movie deals. She got speaking engagements where she was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to show up and speak. She got Entertainment Tonight interviews. And at one point, this idiot interviewing her says she should run for president. It's so cringe.
In the cultural conversation, the collective conversation that we're having regarding this outdated system that needs to really be overturned. And I think it's thrilling to see.
What system is she talking about that needs to be overturned? The entire movie industry needs to be overturned for Amber Heard?
What these conversations have become, and to see some of the stories and the policies change so quickly in the wake of these movements.
Yeah, because everyone's being blackmailed. So everything's changing so quickly because the Me Too movement was one of the scariest things to hit Hollywood or anyone ever, because everyone was indicted before any evidence was presented. So yeah, things changed real quick because people had were being terrorized by a movement that sought to destroy without any evidence, on hearsay alone, just sought to destroy the reputations, the careers of many men. Now, some guilty men were caught in this. Obviously, Weinstein was one of them, and he went to jail. But there was evidence. They had a court trial. They had a case against the man. Bring a case against these men you say are abusive. Take them to court. But if you're not going to take them to court, then shut up about it. I think it's vastly unfair to be bandying about accusations in the press and not have any intention of following it up with legal action. If someone has wronged you, that's why we have legal action. I've got to switch my Wi-Fi real quick. It appears that did it get any better? All right, let's move on. It looks like my Wi-Fi might be low. I may have to do something about this afterwards, but let's just keep moving.
And when I compare it to what I experienced 2 years ago, it is thrilling and inspiring. Now it's our job, I think, as women, to make sure it lasts.
She's running for president next year, guys.
Oh, for God's sake. This woman is so easily impressed. That was just a bunch of memorized sound bites put together and pulled out of her head randomly. There was nothing impressive about that, really. I mean, I guess she did a pretty good job remembering it, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying any of that.
I feel your energy, and I just got chills listening to what you're saying, and the fact that we're working together to do this and making this change happen. Are you finally seeing that we're starting to get that respect for women in the industry? Do you see that change slowly happening?
I do.
It's so sad because after Amber's lies have come out, it now puts women back several steps. It makes people not believe women, because when one woman lies and gets caught, it reflects badly on all women. So good job, Amber, because if there was any progress being made, you can rest assured that there will be less now because of you.
Used to get 10 to 15 scripts across my desk every week, and I would laugh and or cry, depending on the day, at if I could find a script out of that 10, 15, maybe I found one too, that had female characters in them. Of course, there are,
Okay, what she's trying to say here is that there weren't characters worth her time, or characters that, she'll say.
As many actresses starting out in this industry or fighting for these roles as there are men. We're paid less, but we're represented in, as I said, 30% of the roles. And if you get one or two characters in a script, obviously it makes the market for women, especially young women who are starting out. This goes the same for crew, behind the camera, writers, directors. 1% of the directors
I can't stand her with the statistics. I've had enough with Amber's statistics.
Of the top 100 grossing films, 2% of the writers, 80% of the top grossing films are produced, directed, or written by men. And it's unsurprising.
Okay, so what?
Surprising that when 15 scripts cross my desk a week, I'm reading one.
Lucky for her, 15 scripts across her desk a week. Wow. What a privileged life she leads. And she's saying she would get one or two that had worthwhile characters in it. Where those actresses she was just talking about who are just starting out, how many of them would jump at the chance to have one of those scripts that came across her desk that didn't have the meaty character that she wants?
Or two female characters that are just characters, meaning they're flawed or interesting, smart, complex. They've got some.
Okay, more ads. Sorry. Is it me? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to visit the merch store, by the way. Lots of stuff there.
To them. And now, this week, I had this conversation a few minutes ago with my agent, and I said, I've read in this week, I've read out of all the scripts that crossed my desk, I've read 5 out of 15 that had female characters that really represented one of the varying aspects on the spectrum, the wide spectrum of what it is, what the female experience is. And I'm very...
Again, the female experience. I think it's so funny how she felt so safe back in 2017 talking about the female experience. And nowadays, you can't even use the term female experience without being accused of transphobia. It's just, life comes at you fast.
Very inspired and proud to see that change. And now it's our job to go and make them, to keep writing them, to fight for them to be seen, to buy the tickets, to support us, to support each other, even outside of this industry. We need to change.
Amber, nobody's going to go to the theater to see you. No one's going to support you in anything. And I'm telling you right now, if they don't fire her off of the Aquaman or whatever, I guess it's already been filmed, I'm not going to watch it. I liked the first one, although, the big Marvel movies are getting boring to me. My kids love them, so we watch them, but I'm not going to be watching Amber Heard in anything. I'm not supporting this woman in anything she does. No.
The way we talk about women on a social level, on a political level, we need to not wait for 15, 20 women to come forward before we stop asking what's your motive.
No, see, she's made it impossible for women to come forward without other people questioning their motives. And I'm sorry, but anyone who comes forward with any allegation, their motive should be questioned. I'm questioning your motive. Anybody who comes forward, woman, man, anyone who comes forward with an allegation against somebody else, I'm questioning your motive. That's just part of the game. And it's part of getting to the truth. You have to find out what is the motivation for saying what you're saying. It's relevant.
We really need to realize that if justice and equality is denied to us, one of us, it's denied to everyone. And I'm really
social justice warrior talking points.
Inspired. I think this is changing. I'm seeing it right now just by the number of scripts I can tell you it featured strong women, and that is no accident. I want to see those movies do well as well in the box office so that the change lasts and it keeps going. So our daughters have a totally different relationship to seeing their reflection as by way of the entertainment industry.
What? So our daughters have a different way of seeing their reflection of the entertainment industry. What was that word salad? What? That was something she tried to pull out of her memorized sound clips, but she screwed it up. Let's hear that again.
Really different. So our daughters, and it keeps going. So our daughters have a totally different. Relationship to seeing their reflection as by way of the entertainment industry.
What? So that our daughters, let's break that down again. So that our daughters have a totally different experience of seeing their reflection. And then wait, that's when I lose it. Then she goes somewhere else that doesn't make any sense. I have to hear this again.
Have a totally different. So our daughters have a totally different relationship to seeing their reflection. As by way of the entertainment industry.
The entertainment
industry. You're part of that movement.
What? That is so stupid. That made no sense.
And it's so great that you are part of it. And you're making that change happen. And one other thing is your character that you created, Mira.
Okay, and look at this great press that she's getting. So here's another example of how Amber Heard benefited from spreading lies about her husband and claiming to be a domestic abuse survivor. She benefited by getting this slobbering interview by this Entertainment Tonight person who's literally drooling all over her. The drool is escaping this woman's mouth. It's running all over Amber Heard's shoes right now. You're a part of this. You're making this happen. You're running for president. Sigh. This woman is damn near orgasmic over this. And this is being shown on Entertainment Tonight Canada. This is really good press. You cannot pay for this kind of press. A 9-minute interview where she just gets to pull bullshit out of her head and get all this praise.
Oh, thank you.
who controls water.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she just say she created Mira? No, she didn't. Mira is a Marvel creation. Amber Heard had nothing to do with the creation of Mira. She's just acting a part.
I mean, that role itself, as superheroes in general, I have a way of just giving girls and boys an opportunity to feel confident. There's
What's a girl? What's a boy? It's 2017. People still knew what girls and boys were.
something that really resonates with them.
Yes.
Taking on this character, do you realize the impact you're going to have on girls?
Yeah, I took this role because, on the phone before I ever read the script, and it's very secretive, these things, you don't get
you
to-
can't say much.
And you can't, and you also don't know a lot when you're first going into it. And I said, I am not interested. I'm not interested. And then, Zach Snyder explained to me a little bit of.
She wants us to believe that she was not interested in a blockbuster Marvel movie. I call bullshit.
Who this character was. And he said, she's a warrior queen. This is no damsel. This is no, typical, you're the female counterpart to him. He said, just read a comment,
Boy, that was interesting. So she has a very negative opinion of being a female counterpart to someone. I can see that. We can see that in what we've heard about from the testimony from what her marriage was like. Excuse me, still recovering. She has a very negative opinion of being a supportive wife, doesn't she? She has a very negative opinion about supporting her man. This comes through in this interview where she has a very negative opinion about being a female role in a movie where the man is the star because, she's a vicious bitch.
You're a warrior queen. I went, sword and a crown? Okay.
That's impressive.
Got my number. But then I looked at the comic book, and in the first scene.
So that's interesting. Sword and a crown, got my number. Yeah, we know. You like to wield that sword and amputate fingers of people who piss you off. Yeah, we got your number.
She they both her and Aquaman, both Mira and Aquaman save a town, and the townsfolk are running around saying, like, who is this? Who are you? Are you Aqua Woman? And she's like, whoa, I'm not Aqua Woman. I have my own name. It's Mira.
And this is toxic femininity right here. This is toxic feminism. The idea that a woman has to put down a man in order to be equal or worthwhile, has to insult a man in order to be equal. I hate this kind of feminism. I hate it so much. And that's one of the reasons I hate the Marvel movies so much recently. I mean, it's all these badass chicks who fight guys who are twice their size, and they always win. And it's absurd. I don't care how well trained you are in Krav Maga. If you're 5'2" and someone who's 6'3", a male, slugs you in the jaw, you're out. It's a knockout. You're down for the count. You're not getting up from that as a woman. And all these unrealistic bullshit girl power Marvel shitty movies, it's nonsense. And it's fine. It's fantasy. But I hate that they pretend that it's reality. I hate that they pretend that this is something women can be and do, because women can't be and do. And that's coming from a woman who has put her kids in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and they're like super tough. My oldest is 16 and she's super tough. I wouldn't want to tangle with her. And I don't think most teenage boys would want to tangle with her either. But that doesn't mean that she could beat a 6'3", grown man in a fight.
Yeah.
She just has a better chance.
Yes, I'll take it. And so it's great to see that she has the whole water power, hydrokinesis. But she has that whole thing going for her. But she's also a badass.
Who cares?
Proactive, strong, don't mess with me character who does her own saving. And I love that about her.
Okay, good Lord. All right, so I believe that I have proven to you with that video that she has benefited. Amber Heard has benefited from being a person who came out as a victim of domestic violence like Rottenborn suggested that no woman ever has. And I don't think he's correct. And I wish that Johnny's lawyers had brought this up. And on maybe they did on Cross today. I'm not sure. I need to check. So hold on. I've got another thing here that I want to. Okay, so then she was also. Do I still have it? I don't. Oh, okay. It is worth pointing out that Amber Heard also had an attorney named Roberta Kaplan. When all this bullshit was happening in the courts, she had an attorney named Roberta Kaplan. And who is Roberta Kaplan? Roberta Kaplan is the Time's Up attorney. She was a major part of the Me Too movement. Here's this article in Blast. Amber Heard loses Time's Up attorney Roberta Kaplan in Johnny Depp case. Amber Heard's legal team just lost a very high-profile attorney. This was in 2020. After Time's Up co-founder Roberta Kaplan filed to withdraw from the defamation case filed against the actress by Johnny Depp. In new legal documents obtained by the Blast, Kaplan, along with several other attorneys, filed asking a judge to approve them dropping out of the case. Now, Kaplan claims that she got out of this because the case was in Virginia, and Amber would be better served with an attorney in Virginia. That's what her claim is. I don't believe it. I believe Roberta Kaplan dropped out of this case because she realized that Amber Heard was going to single-handedly take down the Me Too movement if allowed to continue this farce, because it will come out in court that she lied, and it has already come out in court that she lied. All right, I'm going to have a part 3 on this as well because I have more video evidence that Amber Heard benefited financially and benefited with her reputation by coming out as a survivor of domestic abuse. And I wish that they would use this in court because it is a disaster. Are you guys watching Nick Rekieta? Are you watching Rekieta Law? His coverage is so good. I will drop a link to his coverage from today in the description so you guys can follow along. He's covering the entire trial. Nick Rekieta is an attorney, and he has attorneys on the program who talk about what they see during the trial. It's a lot of fun to watch them all scream, "Object, object, object," at the same time. It's fun. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm definitely a lawyer groupie, and I'm addicted to the Rekieta stream. So you guys should join me there. I'm always there watching this stream. You'll see me in the chat sometimes. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Stay tuned for part 3.